I've been through an example of how to create an RStudio project file so that when you open up RStudio with that file, you'll always be in the right working directory for a given project. I'd like to show you how to do something similar with VS Code, which is an IDE that you might use for programming in Python. So first of all, I need the folder that's going to be my project. So I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop. It could go anywhere in my file system, but I'm just going to throw it on my desktop for an example. And this is for the dimensional analysis example. So I'm going to call my project dimension. Now once I have this folder, I can start up VS Code. And if you don't have anything opened or you haven't done anything in VS Code yet, it's going to look something like this. I clicked on this top icon, which is the Explorer, and this is, well, things that you have opened up in VS Code are going to show up. And because I don't have anything open, it'll say no folder opened, and it'll say, do you want to open a folder? I can either click this button to do that, or I can go under File and click on Open Folder. Then I need to navigate to my desktop and find that dimension folder that I just created. If I click Select Folder, now I have this folder opened. Sometimes VS Code will bring up this chat by default. I'm not using this chat, so I'm going to close that. So I have the folder open, but I don't have one of these project or workspace files, as they're called in VS Code. So ultimately, I want to save this folder as a workspace. And you can do that by going under File and clicking on this Save Workspace As. So I'm currently in this folder, and I want to save the workspace of this folder as a workspace file. Now the default name is going to be the same as the folder name, so it's calling it dimension.code-workspace. And code-workspace is the extension of this file. As with RStudio, I like to put something in front of this that designates it, that the IDE that this is relevant to, in this case it's VS Code or Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to put a VS underscore so it'll always show up in the same place in the alphabetical list in my folder. So that's the name I want to call it. I'm going to click Save. Now you can see that in that folder, it's now called a workspace. It's got workspace in parentheses here. And what makes it a workspace is it has a workspace file in the folder. So I have the vs underscore dimension.code-workspace file. So just like with RStudio, if I close down Visual Studio Code now, go back to the folder, I can see that workspace file. Now on my computer, I have .code-workspace extensions associated with Visual Studio Code. So if I double click on this, it's automatically going to open up Visual Studio Code. On a Windows machine, you can always change what's being used to open a given extension by going under Open With, choose another app, and I'm going to click Visual Studio Code and click Always. That's how I went about making this so it will open up in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to do that one more time. If I double click on this, in Visual Studio Code will come up. And also notice I'm automatically in this workspace when I do that. I can also bring up a terminal. And I can tell from the terminal by the folder that I'm in my terminal prompt that I'm also in that directory. So that's just another indication that that is now the working directory for this particular session in Visual Code.